Hola babies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Andrea Catarina, but you can just call me Trey. On this channel, we talk a lot about sustainability, thrifting, climate justice, and more. We focus on both the people and also the planet. In today's video, we are going to be chatting about how you can make your wardrobe more sustainable. But before we get started, please remember to hit that subscribe button and like this video because it actually really supports your girl. I want to do a little disclaimer, if you will. On this channel, my intention is never to make you feel bad about your choices. I do not believe in like guilt-based incentives. I don't know you personally. I don't know anything about your situation or your life. I'm really not even here to try and make you change the way you live, but rather just show you the different options that there are out there and hopefully bring about some more information to light that you may not be aware of. If you don't already know, the fashion industry has a ginormous carbon footprint. So instead of me like throwing facts at you, to you, for you, I'm gonna actually just link some articles and like IG accounts and videos down below so you can dive into this topic a little bit more in depth on your own. My first and most important tip on how you can make your wardrobe more sustainable is to basically stop consuming as much as you are currently. We do live in a world full of like hyper consumerism and hyper consumption. When I say we, I'm also including myself. So we tend to buy things consistently out of desire and less out of need. And honestly, like, it's not even our fault most of the time. We have been kind of conditioned into thinking like our worth is like equal to how much money we make, what kind of stuff we have, the materialistic things that we owned, and if we have the latest trend. Wow, Dre, we're getting deep here. But also, what did you expect? We are more than just our clothes. Let's just get that out there. It's going to take some time, but not succumbing to the pressure of like needing a new outfit constantly does actually take some time and effort. And also, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with like feeling super hot, super fine in like a brand new outfit. I do kind of think that's a form of self-care. To be completely honest, I even had to become way more aware of how I was feeling certain voids with materialistic things, and that's just not it, sis. Anyway, making clothes takes so much energy. It takes a lot of resources. It takes water, it takes oil, it takes so many resources. So actually, when you consume a lot less, you will help the planet. Tip number 2, invest in quality and staple pieces. This tip goes hand in hand with tip number 1. If you're going to want to buy less, you are going to want to actually invest in better quality clothes. Things that will last you longer, not just because of the quality of the clothes, but also because of the style and the trend. I'm no fashionista, but things like workout clothes, denim, jackets, that all should be lasting you year after year after year. And it may not seem like it, but you're actually going to be spending less money by buying less amount of high priced items rather than a lot of low priced items, because typically in our head we think like, oh, it's so cheap, it doesn't actually cost that much. But when you actually have that mentality over and over, you end up spending a pretty penny. Tip number 3, you can thrift and also vintage shop. Okay, listen, thrifting is not for everyone. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that just because I like thrifting, you're gonna like it too. If you genuinely really love to actually go out and go shopping, then thrifting may actually be for you. But if you hate like going to the mall and going to shopping centers to begin with, you may want to sit this one out. Buying secondhand is the best, that doesn't even spell anything, the best way to reduce your carbon footprint. When you're buying secondhand, you're picking from clothes that already exist. Their damage has been done, so nothing extra has been done for you to get that piece of clothing, something that can be completely new to you, even though it's not technically brand new. Plus, in the age of new technology that we live in, it actually makes it really easy to go thrifting from the comfort of your own home. My camera died. Change of lighting, but we're back. We're gonna finish this video. You can use platforms like Depop, Vinted, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, eBay. The list goes on and on. Some great things about thrifting. Items are typically cheaper than their original price. Secondhand always allows you to be a little bit more unique with your style. And you're saving textiles and clothes from going to landfill, which then will be burned, which will also inevitably hurt the planet. Tip number 4, clothes swaps. Now, I didn't hear about clothes swaps until probably late last year, but they're literally exactly what they sound like. Clothes swaps can be done as part of a large community event, or you can actually literally do it with your best friends or family. For example, I could call up my BFF and be like, "Hey girl, I've been kind of really bored with my clothes lately. I haven't really been wearing a lot of stuff regularly. Would love for you to come over and check out some of those things." And then she could say, "Hey girl, been feeling the exact same way. I'll be right over with my own bag of clothes." Boom. Clothes swap. This is a great option if you're like not really into the idea of wearing clothes that have been owned by strangers. This is a great way to get clothes from friends, from family, from people that you actually know and trust, rather than going to thrift stores or buying secondhand online. Tip number 5, DIYing and mending clothes. This goes back to tip number 2, which basically reinstates the idea of making your clothes last longer, which is great. Learning some new sewing techniques could actually be so helpful and beneficial. Things like learning how to sew a button, or mending a tear, or patching on a patch. You absolutely do not need an actual sewing machine to mend your clothes. Tip 5.1. If you're a bit more talented than me in textiles and clothes, you can actually make your own clothes. There are so many YouTube videos, so many Instagram accounts of people literally making their own clothes, going to the craft store, getting fabric, and making their own clothes. And I think that's so cool. And if you're up for it, I definitely think it's something that you should try. But if you're not into making your whole wardrobe, you can also DIY clothes that may have had stains on them, that may no longer fit you for whatever reason, and you can upcycle / DIY into another item. I may or may not have made a DIY plant hanger that you can check out. And finally, tip number 6. Buy sustainable and ethical brands. I am leaving this tip until the very end for a couple of reasons. Sustainable brands are expensive, and they should be, because sustainable and ethical fashion isn't just about using recycled materials. Just because you used a recycled material doesn't make you sustainable when you exploit and don't pay your garment workers. And that's the T. The other reason we go back to is hyper consumption and hyper consumerism. We can make the argument that someone who wants to lead a more sustainable lifestyle, are they actually really doing anything if they take all of their clothes, throw it away, and replace that clothes with sustainable brands? I'll let you think that one out. But when you do end up needing to buy new, and if you can afford it, opt into buying something from a sustainable and ethical brand. But you can also shop small and local. And the great thing about shopping small and shopping local is that you are giving it back to families, you're giving it back to small business owners who will use that money to feed their family or take out another loan to promote their business, rather than it going to multi-billionaires who really don't need any more money. Thank you so much for watching this video. It means so much to me, and please let me know if you have any other sustainability tips. I would love to hear that. Please remember to subscribe and like this video if you learned something today. Bye.